Today's product review is going to be a 3-in-1, so we're going to do a review, unboxing and how to put these together. So these beautiful chairs are made by CASARIA and they're made of acacia wood. I got them from Amazon and I paid £132.50 for them. That works out as £33.12 per chair. The fold-out chairs weigh 15 kilograms each and are made of solid acacia wood, which is very good at being weather resistant. We're actually going to be using them indoors and outdoors throughout the year, so in the winter we'll be putting them inside and leaving them outside in the summer. Since the chairs are made of solid acacia wood, they feel very durable, and the design to them, they look absolutely fantastic. The backrest is quite a high top, so it makes it very comfortable to sit in, especially with the armrest, and the foam pad that you see is just off the shelf regular seat pad. They look great, they're comfortable to sit in, they were a very attractive price point and I would buy again. They did come flat packed and we'll go on to the unboxing. The only downside is they are quite complicated to build. So inside the box you get all the furniture parts of course, and all the kit is inside the little bag. So these are for both chairs here, so you can see that there's quite a lot of fixtures and fittings. You do get an instruction manual which is useful for identifying each different part. When it comes to the instructions to put the chairs together, they are not that clear, so that's why I've decided to make this video. So I really appreciate if you like, and if you end up subscribing, thank you very much, because it is a new channel. But let's go through the part list. I recommend laying everything out and organizing it and labeling it to make it easier to assemble the chairs, because there are a lot of different parts. Remember, what you see here is for 2 chairs. You do get 4 Allen keys inside, and all of the parts look very different with the exception of the plastic washers. So there are 4 different types of washers. Out of the 4, there are 2 different thicknesses and 2 different size of middle holes. As I put the chair together, I will label each part for you to make it super easy. The kit does come with 4 Allen keys, and the majority of the parts are fit together with an Allen key fitting. However, there are some screws inside which you will need for the armrest. Like all the screws and the washers, I'd recommend placing out the parts for one of the chairs. Each chair requires 2 of the long bars and 1 of the short one. These are the only pieces that look similar to each other. Step 1 is pretty easy. You need 6 of the TN1 screws, no washers. You need the curved bars, the backrest and the short bar. You can do this on a table, but I'm just trying to make it as easy to understand as possible. What I did is lay down one of the side bars, placed the backrest on, added the other curved bar, and then added the short post. It is easier to build with 2 people because they can hold things in place for you. You do get 4 Allen keys, so you can use the Allen keys to hold things in line. Don't tighten everything up all the way, because you do want a little bit of flexibility for later, because you do need to be able to move certain parts to allow the washers to get into place, which I think is how a lot of people end up struggling. Also use hand tools, not the power tools, because you might end up splitting the wood if you use the power tools. There's step 1 done. On to step 2. So here's the part list, which I'll pin on the screen. For this, you need the long pieces with the pointed edges, and just make sure that they're the correct way around, like they are on the floor here. And then you need 4 of the long screws and those 2 other long bars, and then you just basically tighten them up. No washers required on this one. Step 1 and step 2, very easy. Now it starts to get a bit more complicated. You need 2 of the TN5 washers and then 2 of the bolts that look like they've been snapped in half. Now you have the 2 panels built. Remember to keep the screws a little bit loose, but feed the big one through the gap of the smaller one, and that's how you fit them inside of one another. The easiest way to do this is if you screw one of the TN7 bolts all the way in, and then at an angle, what you can do is you can lean in the chair so the washer goes between the wood and the groove. I am filming with one hand, I apologize, but you can see some of the bolts are quite loose, and that gives you the kind of leeway that you need to be able to move things around a little bit easier. When the bottom screw is in the groove, it's time to put the top one in and just tighten it up. To be able to pull it in on an angle, you do need to have it loose enough, so it's time to tighten up the middle section. For step 4, you need 2 TN1 and you need the bench, which is the TNA, and then you need a TN6. And you're only going to put the bolts in the back of the seat. The washer fits between the bench and the frame, and then the screw goes in just to the back. For the front of the bench, you can just put an Allen key in place because you do get 4 in a kit, and by putting the Allen key through the holes, it will hold it in place and make it easier for the back to be screwed on. And I did this on both sides just to hold it in place, which made it a lot easier. If you can't get the washer in place, then simply just start undoing some of the bolts. That will give you a little bit more flexibility to slide things in place, and again you can just tighten them at the end. Because the screws are loose, it means you can slide the bench in with the washer and then insert the screw. Again, you can tighten things up and loosen them as you go along. We're going to combine 5 and 6 together because what you want to do before adding the armrest in place is add the longer brackets, which are the TN8s, and then you have the screws, which are the TN9s. They have a small and larger hole, but it doesn't really matter which way around they go. And you screw them in with your own screwdriver. There are pilot holes, but don't use power tools because you have a chance of splitting the wood. You push the TN4 bolt underneath the panel and then you put the screw on the top of the armrest. Note how the armrest goes. So you have the curved bit on the outside, flat bit on the inside, and you feed the bolt through and then you place it between the washer and the screw. We've done a little bit of part 6 earlier with the screws into the armrest. Now we want to attach the short piece of wood between the armrest and the bench. With this set of bolts and washers, they will only fit one way. So here you can see the screw is the wrong size. I did that on purpose, of course, just to show everybody. And then you have the short bolt there, and then you got the 2 different washers. So they will only go in one way as demonstrated. With the short piece of wood, there is a specific way to put it in, so slide it into the side. Now if you look to the right of the screen, you can see the little indent, so that's the way around it goes, which I'll give you a close-up shortly. But for this one, you might need to use both Allen keys in order to actually twist around and tighten them up. Remember not to over-tighten them. I moved the armrest out of the way so you can see a little bit easier the washer going in between the front of the bench and the side panel. With the Allen key here, I'm just making sure the washer is in line. So I'm going to remove the Allen key, add the washer on, and if you look closer, you can see which way the short piece of wood goes. And here's a closer look of the other side of that short piece of wood. Again, you can see how I use the Allen key there just to slide the washers along. Really appreciate if you like the video, and hopefully you end up subscribing. I'm looking to get 1,000 subscribers. That means I just get monetized on YouTube. If you haven't purchased the chairs already, then the link is in the description below. I'll also throw up the QR code as well for your convenience. That would take you directly to the Amazon product page. The other side of the chair is exactly the same. So here is the final result. So you've got a fold out chair. Just remember to go around and tighten up all the screws. If you find it stiff to open up, then make sure you just loosen the ones up a little bit more, and then you'll be able to deploy the chair a lot easier. Overall, very happy with the chairs. They arrived pretty quickly. They were free delivery, of course, on Amazon. They feel robust and sturdy. The only frustrating part was the building process. The first chair is very tricky to do, but once you've done the first one, it will all come to you and it'll be a little bit easier. So hopefully the video has helped you. But yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for being fans.